What's going on, Limitless family? You know, we back at it again with another video reaction. This time we checking out Jaguar. Wright reveals exactly what Diddy and Oprah did to Ice Cube. Like I said in my last video, man, I wasn't going to do no p.diddy videos, but man, there's so much going on with p.diddy and these celebrities and just Hollywood, period. So we're going to take a look, man, and see what's going on, because once you watch one of these videos, man, it's a whole rabbit tunnel. You just, this one and this one, this one. So we're going to look at this one first, man. Listen, I'm not saying any of this stuff is true. I'm just video reaction, just right along with you guys and see what it's hitting for. Enough talking, let's get at it.
That knows everybody dirty secrets,
including violence against witnesses to his kidnapping.
How many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all.
Jaguar Wright has just revealed the shocking truth behind what Diddy and Oprah did to Ice Cube.
To sit there to pretend to be his friend on camera. But I mean, you kind of did the same thing with Luther Vandross when you humiliated him on his deathbed.
What makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of their club. That pisses them off.
There are now allegations coming out that Diddy and Oprah were in cahoots and tried to seemingly harm Ice Cube from speaking out against their elite ring.
What club am I talking about? I'm talking about the club of gatekeepers that we all got to deal with. You know who they are, and they definitely know who they are. A lot of people would be like, what, who? Come on, man, stop playing. So ever since I put out the contract with Black America, you know they've been with me. Here and there, this and that. But it's cool, you know. I expect that. You know, I've been working with, on the big three for a long time. And you know how they've been working with me with that. I done made it, plain, simple, and clear what they've been doing,
Recently, Ice Cube has made it clear that he has no connection to Diddy, who is currently facing serious charges related to sex trafficking and racketeering. At a Las Vegas concert recently, the 55-year-old rapper told the crowd, "Almost 40 years rocking the mic, and I'm gonna tell you right now," adding, "Me and WC ain't never been to a Diddy party." This moment was captured in a TikTok video. As Diddy's legal battles unfold, past stories and videos of celebrities attending his notorious parties have resurfaced online, including a clip of Diddy himself, where he implied that locking women in at parties made for a killer party. And we know both Diddy and Oprah have empires to protect and people to exploit. Oprah, in particular, has a history of exploiting things and people for her benefit. There has been an outpouring of criticism for Oprah recently because people have started realizing she's only in it to maintain the status quo. And Sam Seder is someone who has been very outspoken about it.
The real problem with Oprah is that she doesn't really, and maybe she does, and she's just sort of been hiding it all this time, and but she doesn't really seem to understand the question of power, of systems, and so I mean, if she came out tomorrow and said, like, look, we got some real problems with antitrust issues and with wealth inequality, that we need to structurally change things, and we need to card check. That's the one thing that we really need to. I mean, if those things were happening, I would be like, all right, probably could vote for Oprah.
She did a panel where Ahmed Shalabi's right hand or spokesperson was by far the most ethical person on it, because at least they had a personal financial self-interest in it. Judith Miller was like a line. I mean, maybe they all had they did. Because who else would know who Kenneth Pollock is if he didn't write that friggin' book?
Right, exactly.
Jesus.
There's nothing like having Curveball's right-hand man on your show to prove that we should go to war.
Yeah. And then also, and the first one was Judith Miller. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Great.
I mean, it was
great stuff.
She's going to launch the wokest drone strikes.
the wokest drone strikes.
So the public doesn't quite love her like she used to.
I'm so glad the internet is waking up about this long forehead velociraptor looking ass. I am so tired of Oprah, I really am. All these people in the world got a problem with you and you think you ain't the problem. Even Taraji. I mean, come on. Nobody becomes a billionaire by being ethical, baby. I'm just saying, nobody becomes a billionaire by being ethical. So me seeing Oprah get dragged, I'm like, ooh, hit her again. Ooh, hit her again. Hit her again. Especially how she did them people in Maui talking about, I'm gonna pray for you while you got all them acres of land. Get the land away, baby. Faith without works is dead. Prayer without works is dead. Give the land back, baby. So anyway, it's been nice seeing the internet drag Oprah. I know Monique is so happy that the internet is finally waking up about Oprah. Like, she gives me the worst vibes ever. And the first red flag was that billionaire shit. That was the first red flag for me. But then she kept having issues with people and people kept talking about their.
Hey, and if y'all did forget, Monique did have problems with Oprah and Tyler Perry, saying that they was trying to block her out of the film industry and everything else. So it's like I said before, man, you get one of these videos and it's just a rabbit hole down a whole bunch of them. So enough talking, man. Let's get back at it.
Issues with her, and I'm just like, ooh, you a real nasty type of woman.
And perhaps the most troubling of allegations surrounding her, especially considering the recent climate, is how she may have used her South African school as a front to traffic minors. And it gets even worse, folks.
We arrested a former employee of who was working at Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls. She was arrested yesterday for several charges, including assault, indecent assault, as well as soliciting girls under the age to commit indecent assault. And she's now at the Vereeniging police cells.
And when whispers started to emerge about what was really going on at her school, Oprah had this bafflingly fake response.
Something strange is going on with Oprah Winfrey's South African School for Girls.
Go look and see what happened to them girls.
So Oprah opened the school all the way back in 2007. And since the school's opening, it has been marred with many different controversies. You see, shortly after the school opened, a matron of the school was charged with touching several of the girls in a very inappropriate manner. When the crime eventually came to light, Oprah herself went to fire the school's headmistress. Then, in another incident that happened in 2011, law enforcement investigated the body of a newborn that was found in one of the students' bags. Apparently, one of the girls at the school gave birth, but there were no charges filed against her after this incident. There were also other scandals the school was involved in, like in 2009 when 7 students were suspended for seeing their classmates. And now there's a new scandal that the school is known for, as many people online have started spreading rumors that girls are...
Like, if all this news is true, like all this been swept under the rug, because I ain't heard nothing about Oprah school, like none of this type shit I heard of, so they must have been sweeping this shit up under the rug real good, but let's get back at it.
Are disappearing from the school. According to these rumors, several students from the school have gone missing. But as of right now, nobody is sure why these rumors have started, as there is currently no news reporting that there have been missing girls at Oprah's school. Regardless, these rumors have managed to go viral all over TikTok and Twitter, and they continue to be spread to this day.
I mean, that does not sound believable at all.
But to believe that you can take them as property and them and sell them, and it's something from the dark ages. It is just so horrific.
It was called Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls, and it had girls there from grades 8 to 12. But look how weird this is. Number of students 322, the faculty members 666.
And now there is a whole situation with missing kids in South Africa.
South Africa has seen a huge spike in child kidnapping and murder in the last few months. Civil organizations are worried that the country is losing its fight against the menace. Our reporter, Kalden Ongmu, has filed this story.
Over the past few months, several posters like these have been circulating on social media, with pleas to help find these missing children who have been allegedly kidnapped. Communities and civil society organizations believe that the issue of kidnapping is getting out of hand. According to the South African Police Service Missing Persons Bureau, a child goes missing every 5 hours in South Africa. A non-profit group, Missing Children South Africa, says the country is losing the fight against the rising number of child kidnappings.
This seems too coincidental to be true, especially when you also consider that she was named on a list connected to Jeffrey Epstein, and we all know how he operated.
I've spent so many years being silenced, not only by the perpetrators that have abused me, but also by society, and I'm tired of being silenced. I would like to make it very clear, Ghislaine is as guilty, if not worse, than Jeffrey.
Why does it seem like all these guys, just like Puff Daddy had the chick, the Spanish chick, I forget her name. Why does it seem like all these dudes that's doing this got a right hand chick next to them that's helping them, or they 3 times worse? Like the same thing I heard about Jay-Z and Beyonce. You know, she's supposed to be the, you know, the meanest one, and yeah. So let's get at it.
It was very difficult for me, a very vulnerable, naive 22-year-old. All of a sudden, I'm thrown into the sex trafficking ring, and once you're in, you can't escape. Ghislaine was the chief orchestrator. She engineered everything. You answered to Ghislaine. This is the same woman that grabbed my arm and forced me into a room to be raped by Jeffrey. None of us were safe with Jeffrey alive. And none of us are safe with Ghislaine and the co-conspirators out in the streets. Ghislaine needs to be behind bars for the rest of her life.
It is alleged that he was about to confess just how many people he had been involved with, and who his clients were before he suspiciously died by suicide, but not even his own family.
Hey, for 1 second, if you think that Epstein took his lone life, you crazy. Straight up. That man had too many names on that list, and them people did not want them names to come out.
Family believes that.
When I first heard that my brother was dead, I actually heard it on CNN. The government did not notify me, as they've claimed. I thought, okay, he killed himself. At the time, I had no reason to doubt it, and I just figured that was his decision, and I respected it. I grieved the loss of a brother, but it was his decision. But then, after the autopsy was done and all the other information started coming out, it became apparent that it was not a suicide. When you looked at the autopsy results, the photographs we have of the body, the details of the mark on his neck, compared to the way they said he was hanging, nothing matches up. If you looked at all of these facts and evidence, you would not come up with the conclusion that it was a suicide, other than the fact that Bill Barr made that ridiculous statement about it being a suicide, and the chief medical examiner, Barbara Sampson, overrode the actual pathology of the autopsy and declared it a suicide.
And this man continued to raise even more interesting suspicions.
I knew my brother wasn't a flight risk, and he's my brother. I didn't care. And then bail was denied, which is why he was in jail. And then they were going to appeal the decision for bail. And Jeffrey was putting up a pretty big bail. And they asked me for the appeal if I would guarantee his bail. And I agreed, in essence, doubling it. So there was a chance he might have gotten bail. And that hearing was scheduled in, I think, for the 12th, in a couple of days. So then I'm thinking, if he was going to kill himself, wouldn't he wait to after the bail hearing Yeah, because if he got bail, he'd be living in his house with an ankle monitor and armed guards and cameras, so he wouldn't disappear anywhere. Not that I thought he would try. And then if bail was denied again, then it would be a more compelling argument for him to kill himself if he wanted to. But a few days before the bail hearing makes no sense at all.
But it truly is what he says next that really shocks you.
Someone really wanted to kill Jeffrey Epstein, right? They had to assume he was about to talk and give information about some, high-profile people. Otherwise, what would be the incentive to kill him? Did you ever get an understanding from your brother that he was going to talk about anything, that he was going to be a government witness? I mean, because I'm trying to understand what the motivation would be for him to be murdered in prison.
Well, I believe you're right. Again, that's which I tend not to do. Yes, Jeffrey I didn't speak to Jeffrey while he was in prison.
Okay.
The last time I spoke to Jeffrey was the night before he flew home when he got arrested. He called me from France and we just had a normal conversation. And the next day he came home and he was arrested. And that's the last time I spoke to him. I did not see him in prison.
And you know who else has been sued for trafficking and abusing children? Diddy. Initially, he was just under investigation for his connection to Jimmy Henchman, but now he's had literal lawsuits filed because people are now coming out claiming they were abused as minors. In an exclusive interview with Banfield on News Nation, Courtney Burgess claimed to have received 11 flash drives containing at least 8 sex tapes involving Diddy and 8 celebrities. Burgess testified before the Diddy grand jury in the Southern District of New York and shared that among the 8 celebrities, 2 to 3 were minors.
Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if they were. Right.
Sure.
Appeared to
Let
be.
me rephrase it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appeared to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were all 8 were victimized,
Yeah,
meaning
victim.
this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
And of those 8, how many seemed to be potentially minors?
2 to 3, possibly 3.
Burgess was asked whether the people in the videos knew they were being recorded, and he confirmed that cameras were hidden in private areas, including places where people would assume they had privacy, like bathrooms. Courtney Burgess revealed during his interview with Banfield on News Nation that in addition to the sex tapes involving Diddy and several celebrities, the flash drives he received also contained what appeared to be a manuscript.
He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims. And the indictment alleges that he maintained control over the victims in several ways, including by giving them drugs, by giving and threatening to take away financial support or housing, by promising them career opportunities, by monitoring their whereabouts, and even by dictating their physical appearance. Because of all of this, the indictment alleges that the victims did not believe they could refuse Combs without risking their security or facing more abuse. The indictment also alleges other acts of violence undertaken by Combs and others, including violence against witnesses to his abuse, kidnapping, and arson. The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses.
Burgess said the manuscript seemed to have been based on private journals belonging to Kim Porter, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, though it's unclear who wrote it. And we know there's a lot to unpack with the Kim Porter situation.
While things are happening, that nobody spoke on? Why is that a person could say that they left at 8 in the morning and Kim was alive, and 11, she's dead? Some foul play, bro.
If it was foul play, why would somebody want Kim Porter killed?
It's a couple of women in this industry, and for their sake, I will not mention their name. Listen to me. There's a couple of women, probably more than a handful, but I know about 4 of them that knows everybody's dirty secrets. And if those secrets get exposed and tell what some of these guys and some of these people were really doing behind the closed doors, in the boardroom, in and out the closet, that their life would be in danger. Because men wasn't men, and women were acting like men. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Jaguar Wright has a good explanation.
If you was Diddy's PR team, the smartest thing for you to do would be create your own version of the Kim Porter book. And make sure it gets pushed out there first, so anything that comes after will always be held in question. It's brilliant. It's great spin.
Yeah.
Get his version out before the real version come out. Y'all better believe everything that Al B. Shore says. It's about to get disgusting. See, this is the thing. Kim's official book was never sent out to anybody in complete form.
His attorney added that Burgess didn't make any changes to the document, but it was unclear whether Burgess had received the manuscript from a man or a woman. When pressed on whether the manuscript was genuinely based on Kim Porter's diaries, Burgess affirmed that it seemed authentic. He mentioned that he had spoken with Porter just 6 hours before her death, which strengthened his belief that the document was connected to her personal experiences.
Diddy could do whatever, Puff could do whatever he wanted to do, Brother Love could do whoever he wanted to be. If Kim ever tried to get with somebody, Puff would interfere with them or with her trying to be with them. He wasn't letting that happen. Unless he was bringing them to the picture. That's what he used Kim for, bro. He wanted to make a deal with somebody. He'll get another girl and a guy that he's trying to make a deal with, and him and Kim, they all party together. Man, he used Kim for that shit, bro.
Wow, so he used Kim for that?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. You don't do that to somebody you're supposed to love, man.
However, questions remain about the detailed dialogue included in the manuscript, with Burgess acknowledging that some might find it difficult to recall such specifics from past events. And it seems like Diddy is now in increasing risk of being silenced in jail, because federal authorities have confirmed that during a recent sweep of the jail where Diddy is being held, they seized drugs, homemade weapons, and electronic devices. This jail, which houses about 1,200 inmates, has come under increased scrutiny following the fatal stabbings of 2 men earlier this summer. 5 inmates have since been charged with murder in connection to those incidents. Additionally, 4 other detainees, along with a guard, face assault charges related to separate violent incidents. One case involved a man who was stabbed 44 times by 3 gang members, while another involved an inmate who was stabbed in the spine with a makeshift ice pick. Do you think we could see Diddy go a similar way? Let us know in the comments below.
Alright, Unlimited family, there you go. Jaguar Wright reveals extremely what Diddy and Oprah did to Ice Cube. Plus, you had a little bit of Epstein in there, P. Diddy and Oprah. So, Let me know down in the comments, man, what y'all think about all three of these characters. Do y'all think that all three of them had something to do with each other? Do y'all think they was all working together? It kind of seemed that way. But yeah, man. Don't forget, make sure you subscribe, make sure you got that bell rung, and make sure you smash that like button. And don't forget about What's in the Tub Tuesday. I'll see y'all Tuesday, and I'll definitely see y'all before that for these video reactions. Let's get out.